The Aurora's edge drifted through the deep black, far from any known star lane. Her hull lights glowed faintly against the endless dark, marking her as a single spark in a vast empty sea. Inside, 12 humans lived and worked in quiet harmony. Scientists, engineers, explorers. Their mission was simple: search, listen, and learn. But that night, something unusual reached them. "Captain," said the communications officer, eyes fixed on the display, "we're picking up a signal. Weak, repeating every 67 seconds. The captain leaned forward, listening. The sound came through the static, an old rhythmic pulse. It didn't match any current human code. It sounded ancient. Could it be a natural echo? The engineer asked. Not likely, the officer said. There's structure in it. And he paused, adjusting the filters. It's in an old human frequency. Pre-expansion era. That meant centuries old, before Earth even joined the Galactic network. The pilot looked up from her console. From where? Unregistered planet. Class M atmosphere. No colonies on record. A quiet fell over the bridge. The captain nodded slowly. Set course. Let's see who's calling us. It took them 3 days to reach the system. The planet was small, covered in silver clouds that reflected the dying light of a red star. Long valleys cut across its surface like old scars. From orbit, it looked peaceful and forgotten. As they descended through the atmosphere, static rolled across their screens. The signal grew stronger, clearer, as if the planet itself was waiting for them. They landed in a wide clearing surrounded by jagged stone. The air was thin but breathable. Dust drifted in soft waves, disturbed only by their landing gear. When the crew stepped outside, the world was silent. No birds, no wind, only the faint hum of distant energy. The navigator crouched, touching the ground. Looks like glass beneath the dust. Not natural. The engineer scanned the horizon. There, structures. Maybe a kilometer east. They walked together toward the ruins. The ground rose and fell beneath them like frozen waves. The structures ahead shimmered faintly in the red sunlight. Massive walls of dark stone mixed with a metal that looked half-melted, half-grown. It wasn't entirely human, and yet parts of it were. The captain stopped at an archway covered in familiar markings, old Terran letters faded but still there. Human script, she whispered. This place was built by our kind. But not alone, the engineer added. He traced a second set of symbols beside it. Angular, alien, and sharp. These match no known language in the database. They entered the ruins carefully, their light sweeping over the walls. The deeper they went, the more the structure seemed to change. Metal grew out of stone like veins, and old cables hung from the ceilings like roots. Every step echoed softly. Feels alive, the pilot murmured. No one disagreed. Deep inside, they found a wide chamber filled with dust and silence. In the center stood a tall pillar covered in broken screens. The signal pulsed from within it, soft, steady, ancient. This is the source, the engineer said. He brushed dust from the surface, revealing a faint line of text. The officer read it aloud. We are still here. The words glowed faintly, responding to his voice. For a long moment, no one spoke. The message was simple, but it carried weight. It was human, hopeful, stubborn, alive. Could it be an old colony beacon? The navigator asked. Maybe survivors left it running. Possibly, said the captain. Let's find out. They spent hours working around the pillar, connecting scanners, analyzing the power source. The systems were far older than any they had seen. Hybrid circuits, part human, part something else. The more they touched it, the more the room seemed to wake. Lights flickered along the walls, forming patterns like constellations. Dust lifted in tiny spirals, drawn toward the center. Captain, said the pilot softly, I think it knows we're here. The captain looked around. Machines don't know, but even she didn't sound certain. A low vibration ran through the floor, gentle as a heartbeat. Somewhere in the distance, a door opened by itself. Power systems are active, said the engineer, half in awe. After all this time, they followed the faint hum through a long corridor. The walls curved inward, covered in carvings, half human scenes, half alien shapes. There were faces, people in old-style suits working beside tall, luminous beings. Cities rising together under twin suns, then darkness, broken towers, and finally a circle of light enclosing a single word. Remember. It's a record, the officer said quietly. A story, but of what? Asked the pilot. Maybe of the ones who came before us, the captain said. Humans who reached farther than anyone knew. At the end of the corridor, they found another chamber, smaller, cleaner. In its center was a crystal sphere hovering above a cradle of metal vines. Inside the sphere, tiny points of light floated like stars. As they approached, the signal shifted. The old pulse stopped, replaced by a voice, soft, distant, and human. We are still here. The same words, but now alive. The crew froze. None of their translators triggered. It was pure Terran speech. Captain, the officer whispered. That's a human voice. The engineer scanned the sphere. No biological data. It's a recording, maybe. The captain stepped closer. Can we decode it? I can try. He linked a portable analyzer to the sphere. The lights inside shifted, rearranging into a pattern. The sphere pulsed once, twice, and then new words appeared in glowing letters across the floor. They are coming back. No one moved for a long time. The air in the chamber seemed heavier, not from fear, but from meaning. Coming back? The navigator asked. Who? The captain stared at the words. Whoever built this. Maybe the humans who lived here. Or whoever they worked with. The pilot looked around the glowing walls. You think they left? That this message was waiting for us? Maybe it was never meant for us, said the engineer quietly. Maybe it was meant for them. The captain smiled faintly. Or maybe it was meant for anyone who would listen. Outside, the sky had grown darker. The red sun hovered near the horizon, turning the clouds gold. The ruins shone faintly beneath the light like a city remembering itself. The crew stood at the edge of the clearing, their ship gleaming behind them. So, the pilot said, what do we tell command? That we found proof of something extraordinary, the captain answered. A place where humans and another species once worked together. A planet that still remembers. The officer glanced at the sky. And the message? The captain looked back at the ruins. The wind had started to move, carrying faint whispers through the stones. For a moment, it almost sounded like voices. We tell them the truth, she said. Someone out there is coming back. And maybe they'll want to find us too. As the aurora's edge lifted off, the planet below shimmered with light. From orbit, the crew saw patterns forming across the surface, circles and lines glowing faintly in the dusk, like an ancient map waking up after ages of sleep. The signal followed them into the stars, repeating one last time before fading into silence. We are still here. They are coming back. No one spoke during the return flight. There was nothing more to say, but each of them felt it. The quiet weight of discovery, the pulse of something vast and alive waiting beyond the edge of known space. They hadn't found danger. They hadn't found war. They had found a reminder that humanity was never truly alone out there, that somewhere in the endless dark, another story was still unfolding, and perhaps one day, their paths would meet again. When the ship entered the next communications relay, the captain recorded the official report. She ended it with a single line that wasn't in any protocol. If anyone receives this message, listen carefully. The stars remember us, and someone is coming home. Then she sent it out, letting it echo across the void, knowing it would travel farther than any of them ever could. In the quiet hum of the bridge, the crew watched the last of the red light fade behind them. None of them felt afraid, only small, and deeply, beautifully human.